Content creation is hard. No one's ever going to deny that. It takes grit, it takes determination, it takes a severe level of brain rot and mental illness to stick to doing something, the same thing over and over again, to try and garner your brand, your identity, to convince people to watch you. And to whatever means that you are able to achieve your success is obviously very subjective based on what you do. Some people do it more respectfully, growing a brand through games and more wholesome content. Some people choose to capitalize on children and, well, less said about that, the better. But no matter which way you get your success, it is an earned thing in most cases, unless you view bot, in which case, fuck off. And for a lot of people who gain their success, the biggest struggle once having reached your zenith, as it were, is maintaining it. No one will ever know the pain of losing something you've struggled so hard for than a content creator. And I can say this from my own experience, having had rises and falls in my metrics and my viewership, all of which leads to some people taking more desperate means to try and cling on to that success, to try and offset the inevitable irrelevancy that they feel like they're going to get. And for people who feel like they're going to become irrelevant, trying whatever they can to keep that relevancy usually ends up with the mindset of any attention is good attention, which, for all intents and purposes, is absolutely fucking wrong. If you have to flash your dick to try and get people to still be interested in you, that is not the way to go about it. It has to be said. And at the end of the day, people aren't stupid. People have an expectation of you. People have an opinion of you. And if the opinion of you is that you are a clout chaser or that you are desperate for attention, people aren't then there for your content. They're there for your inevitable crash. It's like people will see a content creator having a midlife crisis and they will start gathering around said content creator, not for what they're creating, but waiting for that inevitable fiery car crash. It's like watching a car crash in motion. You know it's terrible to look at. You know it's horrible. But you just have to keep watching because it's such a spectacle. And in today's example of content creators who had their big old internet stardom be put into question and then, well, existentially lose their proverbial minds, is DefNoodles. Now, if you ever want an example about how you don't deal with on-set irrelevancy, use this man as your example because he did quite possibly the biggest fault that any content creator could ever do. If you are feeling like there's irrelevancy or you're losing your grip, innovate. Grow. Do something that helps you stand out. Because inevitably, the thing that causes you to decline is because you're either not paying attention to your content, you're not researching what you're doing, or you're just slacking. So you have one of two things. You either innovate, or you do the path of least resistance, which is to cause drama. Because people will always be drawn to negativity. Negativity baiting has been a thing since the dawn of time. And in the world of YouTube, it is the hark and call of somebody who is intellectually bankrupt. And Mr. DefNoodles, as you mentioned, did the world's worst thing. He had a beef with Moist Critical and tried every motion in the books that you shouldn't do to try and remain relevant in people's eyes. And the mindset of any attention is good attention set this man into a spiral. Right, so this is a man who decided to try to remain relevant in people's eyes by having drama, by basically doing every out-of-pocket thing you could imagine to try and curb the inevitable decline of his viewership. Because guys, one's in chat, if you think the sensible thing to do when being a content creator who's losing relevancy is to get in a fight, or two, if you think you should innovate and research and try and improve your content. Because oh god, oh boy, guys, I don't know. It seems pretty obvious. I mean, in honesty, I am so out of touch with most like modern YouTubers. I had no idea who this guy was. Absolutely no idea. But I've been told apparently this guy's example of a downfall is the quintessential example about how you don't handle a decline in viewership.
500,000 subscribers,
take it away, SunnyV2.
a few hundred views per video.
What?
The total
500? Dude, this guy fucking fell off. I've got 20,000. I've got 23,000 subscribers on my second channel. and I'm doing triple, quadruple this guy's numbers. Like, this is what I mean though, right? You base your entire brand off of having beef with people, and people are there for the drama. But the second you lose the respect of your audience, like, do not think that you're... Yes, you are on YouTube, 100%, and there are troglodytes on YouTube. But people, your viewers are not stupid. Your viewers know when you are being a little degenerate shitbag. Your viewers know if you are being disingenuous. Your viewers know if you are being disrespectful. And if you disrespect your viewers, if you disrespect their intelligence, then they're going to freaking cancel you. The court of public opinion is the one thing you do not mess with. And this is why I was saying a second ago, the ideology of any attention is good attention does not hold up. If you want to be, like, if you guys want to know how to be a content creator, ask me. I may not have the biggest of numbers, but I've been around the blocks enough, and I have done the numbers. I am an analyst. I have done the research. I know what it takes to be successful. I'm just far too neurodiverse and mentally ill to be able to take advantage of it.
Collapse of his channel had been building for months beforehand, although the final nail in the coffin was an ill-fated beef with Penguin Zero, who also covered news and drama.
Yes,
although
if you are going to take a beat, like, guys, I do not particularly like Penguins. I think he is a very overrated content creator. He makes some very good points sometimes, but you know what? That is what it is. But if there is one person that there are the people you do not have beef with, it is not Penguins himself. It is the people like Penguins. It is the people like Moist Cuticle. People like Moist Cuticle who know how to formulate an argument in a sensible and well-mannered discipline, you do not fuck with. Because these are the kind of people who know how to slap back as good as they get given it. If you want to cause drama with people, you want to focus on... I can't believe I'm trying to tell you this, but if you want to make drama to get attention, you go at people who are unstable, who are unable to make based retorts, and unable to formulate their comebacks in a sensible manner. People who think with their dick rather than their head. Moist Cuticle is... as overrated as he might be, very good at conversation. And this is the kind of person who knows how to take what you say and work with it. So, this guy kind of stuck his foot in it if he decided to go after Moist Cuticle.
One major difference. Each creator's level of integrity. While
And
Critical
that's the
only
big thing.
covers topics that he's
Like, you can be the biggest drama-baiting Andy imaginable. If you ruin your integrity, no one's gonna watch you. Like... Moist Cuticle does a lot of content calling out drama, and the reason why people watch him is because he does his research, is because he has integrity, because people trust him, and even if he gets it wrong, people are going to be there because he's actually humble enough to admit when he said something wrong. Like, there is a right way and a wrong way to be a journalist drama Andy. Like, you know, the people like Pyrocynical, Moist Critical, the people who, like, address drama. Kind of like what we're doing now. There is the right way to address drama, and then there's the clout-chasey, zero-integrity way. And the zero-integrity way will be very good for short, quick views, but after you've lost your integrity, no one's going to want to watch you, because nobody trusts you.
To speak on. DefNoodles began to wreck his image by covering anything and everything with a sloppy, embarrassing, complete lack of research.
What did I say? Like, believing everything on the internet? Like, somebody probably posts a video saying that, you know, the liberals are sending trans kids into our schools to friggin' make the frogs gay. Like, so this guy would be the kind of person who'd make a thing like, oh, I knew it! I knew it! Yo, guys, this is some big news. This is some big news. Yo, gamer news, gamer news. That seems like what this kind of person is.
For example, back when James Charles was being
Just because
accused of
there's
grooming,
news
a
to be
comedy
said
TikToker
doesn't mean
named
you have to
Sammy
cover it.
Sens posted an obviously fake James Charles chat log, captioned with the hashtags funny and meme, making it obvious that the screenshot was an edited joke. Well, DefNoodles rushed to his Twitter writing, "Who could have seen this coming? James Charles exposed by 14-year-old boy, apparently not even looking at the screenshot's original date."
It just screams desperation. It just screams, you know, it just screams as the kind of person who just wants to make anything content. Like, if you're gonna cover a subject, at least do the best. Like, whenever I get something like this, whenever I get a subject I want to cover, I at least make sure it's a subject that I'm interested in. It's a subject I have some knowledge in. Like, if that, it's why I will never cover anything majorly political. It's why I will never cover anything that is outside of my realm of understanding. Like, if it's gaming related, if it's content creator related, if it's art related, I'm there, baby. But if you come at me with, like, I don't know, child welfare acts or politics or anything like, dude, I'm going to that with a barge pole. No, fuck that. I don't know. I'm not doing a DefNoodles all over this.
When James Charles would have still been a minor himself. To make DefNoodles' obvious lack of research worse,
what some people do, and I think it's worth mentioning, some people will purposefully, and this is what I mean by integrity, people will purposefully state facts as wrong to bait rage comments. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen this recently. A lot of people have been putting not correct information in their titles, in the descriptions, stating things that aren't true, just so they can get people in their comments being like, "Oh, you're wrong." Because to them, all that matters is the metrics. They don't care about the integrity of what they're trying to say. They just care the fact that it's going to elicit a response to increase their algorithm. People with no integrity, literally scum, literally the average Birmingham liver.
He'd then promote a second, even faker screenshot, with DefNoodles responding in the most immature way. He'd state, "This page is satirical, meaning it's not meant to be taken seriously. Tone is overly serious."
Okay, guy. Okay. Dude, that's so stupid. That's the equivalent of journalist ableism. Like, yeah, I reported on it, but this is a comedy channel, so it didn't mean anything. Dude, you are still to be held responsible for what you say. You might have the freedom of speech, but you also have to take responsibility for what you say as well. If you say something stupid, even as a satirical channel, you can't say that it's their fault for not understanding satire. If people found it cringe and weird and called you out for being out of pocket, then you are probably out of pocket. No amount of satire makes something out of pocket less out of pocket.
Because it's meant to be satirical.
Hey, Solo, what's up,
the way I present things is so serious. That's what's supposed to be the satire.
Okay, I know it's a really bad example. Keemstar. Keemstar does this, and you may hate him, but Keemstar knows how to do this much better.
However, this move backfired terribly,
pretty much the only
Keemstar would give DefNoodles a taste of his own face.
Are you kidding? Dude, maybe I pre-watched this without knowing it. Oh my god. I say Keemstar because it was the first person that, like, Keemstar is literally the person who I could think of that does this, but well. You may hate him, but he has integrity. He does research. Sometimes he's out of pocket, sometimes he said it wrong. But this is how you... Keemstar is a person that shows how you do this, like, news drama reporting, but with integrity. Yes, he's a drama Andy. Yes, you might hate him, but there's a reason why he still gets views.
Satire. DefNoodles has allegedly groomed girls from ages 12 to 15. Big YouTuber source, victims are scared of him and wish to stay anonymous but may come forward soon. DefNoodles has declined to give us a comment on these allegations made against him.
I'm gonna assume... So this is satire, right? Keemstar knows how to do satire. I'm gonna assume this guy completely misses the point and tries suing him, or has some, like, call out post, or makes some like, I'm going for it. I'm trying to think about how other YouTubers who don't know how to deal with drama would deal with this. So he's either going to try and sue him, he's either going to try and defame him, he's either going to make a really cringe ass reply video, or he's gonna abandon his Twitter.
DefNoodles then responding to the mockery in another terrible.
What did I say? What did I say? What did I say? People who have no integrity, people who have no confidence in themselves will always respond with a lawsuit. That you can always tell when somebody has no integrity or no intent of being integral or like have any authenticity to what they do, because they'll instantly respond to someone with attacks and defamation, and they won't have anything substantial to come back with. It just screams desperation and somebody who doesn't want to admit they were wrong.
Way by lawsuit.
Yeah, Trusty, thank you for the reset,
to clear
dude.
my name of these false allegations and to hold him accountable
how
for
much did he
knowingly
sue
making
him for?
false accusations.
And as summarized by a comment reading, he's been spiraling since the Keemstar lawsuit announcement. This is where DefNoodles.
There is an element here of a conversation towards free speech, and I could talk about this. It's a subject I'm somewhat savvy with. Does everything need to be responded to with a lawsuit? Absolutely not. An instantaneous lawsuit is usually the sign of somebody who has no confidence in their own standing. And is the freedom of speech important? Absolutely. But there's also the caveat that if you have the freedom of speech, you need to be held responsible for the things you say as well. Yes, you can say things that are out of pocket. Yes, you can say whatever the fuck you want. But you are to be held accountable and be held responsible for what you say. Just because you have the freedom to say something doesn't mean people are going to like it, and if people don't like it, they are going to voice their opinion. Just because you can say something doesn't mean you should, as it were.
Life completely fell apart, because despite suing Keemstar for falsely tweeting about him being a pedo, DefNoodles went on to do this to another YouTuber.
This guy just can't stop losing. This guy is the walking hypocrite. Good God!
Named Papa Gut, while adding put this MF on a watch list, he looks mad suspicious. When people
I don't know, I think this is cap. I think this guy is so self-aware of what he does. There's no way. There is absolutely no goddamn way somebody is this out of touch and this blind to what they're doing. There's absolutely no way. I refuse to believe that. I've seen some idiots. Okay, unless this person's from Florida, in which case maybe this is true. Maybe this guy's Florida man.
People called DefNoodles out for doing the same thing he was suing Keemstar for. DefNoodles claimed he hadn't wronged Papa Gut in any way because 1. My bio says comedian. 2. Since
again, the equivalent of journalist ableism. You can't judge anything I say because I'm a comedian. No, you can't. No, don't chastise me. I'm a comedian. It's funny. It's for funny. If you didn't find it funny, you're just clearly not my audience. Yeah, but look, I said this at the beginning. People are not stupid. People know the difference between something that's funny and just something that's blatantly derogatory and out of pocket. And I'm sorry, my guy, Mr. DefNoodles, but I can... Yeah, where's the joke? Yo, where's the joke? It's like me being British. Where's the seasoning? We don't know. Is it in my ass? I mean, clearly it's in this guy's comedy's in his ass because he's shitting all over this.
2019, I've said I
He's blowing
covered
it out
news
of
as
his
a
ass.
joke and wasn't meant to be taken seriously. And 3, saying someone looks like a pedo isn't an accusation, especially when they objectively look like a pedo. As a
Objectively, my guy, you've just exposed yourself for being a stereotyper. And what does a pedo look like, my guy? You saying that everyone with a beard looks like a pedo? Again, how to say you have no connection with what you're talking about without saying you have no connection with what you're talking about. I could go on a tirade here about prejudice and all that kind of nonsense, but it's not worth saying. This is just stupid. I'm losing brain cells.
As a result, Papa Gut broke down live on stream.
Yeah,
This is
and
a
this is what I
joke
mean.
to you.
You may have
It's
the
a game
freedom
to
of
you.
speech,
This
but
isn't a
doesn't mean
game
you
to
should
me,
say
Dennis.
it.
This is so real to me.
After which DefNoodles
I legitimately think it's a bit. I think it's all a bit. I think DefNoodles was making all of this bollocks to try and drum up as much attention as he could. That has to be it. There is literally no way that somebody is this tone deaf without doing it as a bit for attention.
took a screenshot of Papa Gut crying and turned it into a piece
You
of
made
his
it
own
a
merch.
shirt?
Comments such as the fact that
Dude, I'm pretty sure at that point, Papa Gut could sue for defamation and defamation and slander. Like, I'm actually sure. Like, ironically, I actually think DefNoodles would be at fault there to be open for a lawsuit, because that is defamation. That is there's a number of there's a number of allegations that could be made there. Oh, that would be bittersweet.
Def is making fun of him for this is crazy showed the audience was losing respect for DefNoodles.
Your platform is
No
going
kidding.
away because you're unjustifiably
Yo, he
targeting
actually
me.
got him onto a call. And okay, so here's the thing. Okay, so there's two paradigms here. I mentioned this at the beginning, and it's probably worth kind of like reinforcing just for the sake of helping understand. When you are a struggling content creator and things are going wrong, there's two ways that you kind of handle it. You got the right way and the wrong way. When you see your numbers going down, the right way is to research, take a step back, research, innovate, improve. That, with those four alone, you can usually come back from any slump in numbers. A slump in numbers is the algorithm is literally a textbook definition of your metric of success. If your numbers are going down, it usually means you've done something wrong, or you're not keeping up with what is relevant, or you need to do something to try to work back into it. Yes, there is an element that where YouTube's algorithm is kind of shitty, but that's why you innovate and you compromise and you make it work. I mean, fuck, I only started my secondary YouTube channel 4 months ago, and it's at 25,000 subscribers, almost. I do not think that there is any situation you can get yourself into where you cannot bring yourself back, except in the instance where you've ruined your integrity. If you've made everyone's public opinion that you are unintegrant and that you have no authenticity with your content, people are not going to watch regardless. And when that happens, the algorithm sees you as a sparkle content creator, and you will not get recommended to people because YouTube has a negativity bias, a bias towards negative content, in the sense that if your content is nothing but negative, misinformation, and slander, you will never get recommended to people at all. So yes, initially, if you start making beef with people, you'll get people coming in saying like, "Oh, that's content creator that I know. That's Moist Cuticle getting cussed out. Oh, let's get ready for the fight." But the second that fight's over, you have no authentic viewership. No one who was watching those videos were there for you. And the way you grow as a content creator is by making people be interested in you. And if you are unintegral, if you have no authenticity, no one's going to stick around. You're basically like you're going to a WWE match where one person is the showman, where there's one person who is, you know, the big headline event, and then the other guy is a serial murderer. People aren't there for the serial murderer. They're there to watch the murderer get beat up by the big guy that they're all there to see. Because when that show's over, no one's going to then go and watch that serial murderer in their next show, or ever. They're going to be watching that big headliner again, who worked on their brand, worked on their IP. So what you don't do is then become disingenuous, bad stuff, bad, very bad. You don't do bad things. You don't do things that are negatively inclined. You can be in the negativity spectrum. You can report on negative events. You can talk about negative drama. You can talk about whatever you want. You just can't make it interpersonalized. You can't make it about, you cannot put yourself in that spot. You need to make sure that you are projecting yourself in a positive light whilst talking about something negative. That is the best example of Keemstar, Moist Cuticle, Pyrocynical, anyone who reports on negative drama. They are putting their positive spin on a negative conversation. Like what we're doing now. We're informing, we're talking. But I am not getting myself involved, which is something DefNoodles seems to have needs to take a bit of an insight on.
Which began to show in DefNoodles' following, as for the first time ever he began to lose subscribers. Although rather than recalibrating and letting his reputation heal, he'd almost instantly jump into another controversy that...
Yeah, dude, I mean, look, if you get into a controversy, you can absolutely come back. If you, I mean, I have never really been in controversy. However, I have made bad decisions with my stream. And I had, like, everything is a cause and effect. If you do something bad will happen as a result. I made a couple of bad choices for my branding. I lost viewership, I lost subscribers. But I recalibrated, I pulled back, I looked at my content, I looked at what I needed to do. And although it took a month or two to get back on the horse, I pulled back, I got my numbers back. In fact, I'm doing better than I've ever done. Like, goddamn.
Would ultimately end everything.
No one is beyond redemption until you make yourself unredeemable.
DefNoodles had made the claim that he was apparently a professional comedian.
Akiano, what's up, dude?
He'd state, I have a background in comedy. I trained literally for years as an improviser.
Oh, there's the joke. Guys, we found the joke. We found the one funny thing that DefNoodles has said. Point and laugh, guys. It's the funny. We found the funny.
Performed in basically every major theater and comedy venue in New York and LA. Every stand-up place, every place that you can think of and you can find on Google, I have performed there, which DefNoodles...
Just because you've performed there doesn't mean you're any good, though. That's like me saying that I'm a world-renowned artist because I've put artwork up in every single main art gallery in the world. But if all of that art is literally just a picture of dick butt or some furry smut, doesn't mean it's been well received. You could have trained for literally your entire life as a comedian and produced nothing. That is not an argument to validate your shit opinions. Oh my god.
Went on to prove by showing an awkward, unfunny clip of him performing live.
Oh no, are we gonna get secondhand cringe? Oh no, okay, if there's one thing I hate the most, it's secondhand cringe.
DefNoodles clearly...
Oh no. Now, I'm not going to talk about this for that long, but if there's one thing that gets to me the most, it's when people get up on stage and they're clearly not prepared. I went to a convention one time that did a public talent contest, and they unfortunately didn't make any standards for the people who could get up on stage. So there were quite literally some people doing comedy routines that had no stage presence, that didn't understand how to even talk. And there was basically the equivalent of Mr. Wiggle from the Mr. Men being up on stage and going... And I swear to God, the only laughs that would come from the audience were people going, ha ha ha, please get us out of here, ha ha ha. Oh god.
Really couldn't see that he wasn't as good as he thought. However, this didn't stop him from opening his own 50-person comedy club, christening the venue with an event called Super Roast Battle. It ran for an hour and a half and was streamed to a live audience on both Twitch and YouTube, leaving no space for mercy if the event was a total failure, and a total failure the event would certainly be.
Gosh. Who could have seen that coming? Not I, said the man in the fly. Not said I, the fly on the wall, to the man in the sky with the pie.
Everything that can't go wrong will go wrong, folks. Remember that.
The first 24 minutes saw the audience sitting there waiting, and it's therefore no surprise they weren't exactly hyped.
Oh, you got Twitch chat on the wall as well? Dude, these guys are brazenly... these guys were brazen, like...
DefNoodles finally started the show.
All right, LA, are you ready? You ready?
not even started. I'm cringing so bad. Why does it look like a fucking PowerPoint presentation you'd get at school? Nah, dude, this looks like somebody's about to present their homework in front of the class. All right, Jimmy, come on, front of the class. Tell us about the little project you've been working on. So, teacher, I played Fortnite, and I got a victory royale. And then this cringe-ass kid shows the clip of them getting a victory royale, and it's just like, bruh.
Ready? I don't know about this. I don't think we're gonna do the show anymore. This crowd's like, they're all asleep.
These 24 silent minutes were spent setting up the unprepared lighting and sound, which clearly hadn't been checked or rehearsed.
Hey, Steven.
Gosh. It's almost like somebody who has no experience or foresight working in the industry who decided to do something in the industry wouldn't have been prepared. Golly! Who could have seen that coming? Somebody woefully known for being bad at their job and doing things sporadically last minute on everything they've done before.
Turn on the lights. The wrong lights. That's the house lights. Almost there.
Is-
Wrong lights. So the lights.
I guarantee you this is going to be the funniest thing that happened in the entire show. I guarantee it. This is the funniest thing that happens. Everything else, the actual comedy, is just going to be a cringe fest.
I think I'm mic 1. Am I mic 1? Hello. There we go.
Why would you stream this? Like, things that are a good idea probably sound like a good idea, but...
started.
You look like you woke up in a dumpster.
Probably. You're like my cousin if you were a girl.
So, improving comedy is hard. Which is usually why it's done with preparation. If you just get a bunch of random-ass nobodies who've never met each other before, the only thing you're ever going to be able to retort on is like the visual and whatever like skills you have as an improviser. I mean, you have to learn, right? Like if this was like a learning thing, but this was marketed as like a diss battle. Yeah, there's no dynamic. Like, you need something. Like, comedy needs substance to work. And if you don't know anything about the other person, if it's just spontaneous, you're left with your own personalized skills and whatever you see. And I feel like there's an element in there of the environment. And if the environment feels oppressive and bland and cringe and awkward, and because everything seems unprofessional, I don't think there was any precedent. There was no theme. There was no subject. There was nothing to work with beyond just diss this person. Like, I'm not the comedy queen by any means, but I know comedy enough to know that this would have been awkward as fuck to have been part of. Mason, thank you for the follow, by the way.
Thank you. I bet you cried when you got those tattoos.
I did.
Yeah, they're just literally dissing each other's like appearance.
I did.
DefNoodles spent the hour telling the worst
I did? That's not a retort. Dude, you don't just confirm it. If you're gonna make a diss, it's like, oh, I bet you could. Yeah, you such a bitch. I bet you cried when you got those tattoos. Yeah, bitch, I did, but I didn't cry as much. I cried even less when your mama died. Like, you give something. You don't just say yes. You don't just give a definitive yes or no. There's like, you can make something so much like. Oh god, yo, you, like, if I was to diss the British, for example, like, I can make an observational thing. Yo, you're British? Well, I hope you don't cry because I've got some spice. Like, that's not even a funny one, but that's still funnier than what that was.
jokes the world had ever heard, in the process picking up a 1-week Twitch ban for something said by one of the roasters. The event was so heavily criticized by the internet.
DefNoodles, this guy is just something else. I cannot believe what I just
Wait, is that the guy from the Warcraft movie? The South Park Warcraft episode?
I think I'm still trying to recover from it. This was honestly one of the more
Cheers,
embarrassing
love.
things I've ever seen.
DefNoodles convinced himself the show was successful since it started a trend on Twitter, although it seemed this attitude changed completely when Penguin Zero uploaded I've never seen something this horrible.
Okay, so this is usually, like, everything we've seen from DefNoodles tells me that he's gonna see this thing and take it personally. And because he's convinced himself it was a success, he's gonna be insulted by the fact that Penguins is like, nah, dude, this was cringe. Nah, this was cringe, dude. And he's got, nah.
This was a complete fucking disaster on a level I haven't seen before. Imagine Fire Festival, but if it actually happened and was worse than anyone could have
God,
imagined.
imagine
Critical
being
gave a
compared to
different
Fire
take on
Festival.
why the
That's
show was a
fucking
total
wild.
failure.
Nobody knew each other. Literally nobody. So all they can do is roast each other's appearance.
Yo, did I just get on the same level as fucking Moist Cuticle? Yes! I've made it! I officially have the same brain cell as Moist Cuticle. Let's go! Alright guys, where's my... Yo guys, where's my 50,000 followers? I'm clearly on the same level as Moist Cuticle.
Because they don't know them.
What's
Before
Fire
offering
Festival?
a couple
Google it.
roasts of his own.
guys, what's
Like,
up,
this
dude?
is what happens at like a middle school
did your
lunch
voice change?
table. It's like that episode of
Oh?
SpongeBob. Hey, so what's up with salt shakers?
Yes! Best reference. I was actually going to say this earlier. It's like that SpongeBob thing where they try and do the comedy roadshow, whatever it is, where Squidward's up on the stage and he's like trying to crack jokes, and then SpongeBob just comes out mopping the floor and he's instantly more funny. Like, yo, this guy sucks!
Oh, brother, this guy stinks.
However, DefNoodles couldn't handle his basic criticism as he
Didn't
responded
rewatch, by
with
the way,
his
guys.
own
Didn't
video
rewatch.
titled My Apology to Moist Critical for First Super Roast Battles. DefNoodles spent the video sarcastically pretending he wasn't hurt.
Greatest crime that I committed was to...
Okay, you know what? In some sense, making a retort to Moist Critical would actually be a wise idea, but it has to be done in a very specific manner. You have to make it jovial. You have to make it funny. You have to make it, haha, let's all laugh at the thing that I did. Yeah, it might have not been great. You make it humble. You make it funny. You make it like interpersonal. So you make it so that it's not personalized. Doing it like this, making it sarcastic, just shows that you're so out of pocket and that you clearly didn't get the point of the video to begin with. Like, did you... If the world is... Okay. If the entire world is literally telling you did something wrong, and you are the only person that believes you didn't do something wrong, I'm sorry, my guy, but there's a high probability that you did something wrong. Again, the court of public opinion is very rarely wrong.
have caused the great Moist Critical to cringe. Would like to extend my sincerest apologies for causing you to cringe while watching.
I think this is the thing, though. I think he's so delusional. I think he legitimately thinks he's being funny here. I think that's the problem. I think he's so up his own ass that he honestly believes what he does is just God's gift to Earth. And at that point, nothing anyone ever says to him is going to stick. He's going to get insulted by everyone who dares question him. Because in his eyes, he's done no wrong. He is literally the perfect human being.
My roast battle. I am sitting here ludicrously buckling to my knees, self-deprecatingly acquiescing to the oh-so-great Moist Critical.
Joking he deserved the highest.
This guy literally can't stop cringing. Everything this man does just makes me cringe. Like, does he not? Like, this right here is exactly what I meant by taking a step back, taking a deep look at what you do, and questioning, is what I'm doing actually good? Because have I ever told you the definition of insanity? Insanity is having something happen and continuously doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. If something isn't working, if you are not getting the result you want, and you keep doing the same thing and nothing changes, then motherfucker, that's pretty insane.
Form of punishment for his failed comedy show.
Not only should I have been arrested and sent to the gulags, but I should have also been
Why
forced
is
to
he
live
doing
the
the
rest of my
voice?
miserable existence being waterboarded while Baby Shark plays on loop at max volume in the background, and 2 CIA torture experts electrocute the tip of my penis with tweezers.
In the
Why does he sound like Oni from Oni Cartoons? Oni Cartoons, yay! Oh, I don't know, Chris. You know what I mean, right? He sounds like Oni from Oni Cartoons.
6 hours that followed, DefNoodles received a 90% dislike ratio, a loss of 3,000 subscribers, and thousands.
Oh, you hate to see it. Youch! And yet, even after 28,000 loss in subscribers, he probably still thought he was in the right.
And thousands of comments completely and utterly wrecking him. This is obviously trying to be ironic, but the layers of actual self-pity and insecurity make this very hard to watch.
Like that, honestly, You know, you want to know how you can ever tell someone who's self-conscious about something they're doing, and they know they are? When somebody converts something that's a subject they're concerned about, it would be like me saying, hey guys, I'm not paranoid about my viewership at all. So I keep bringing up my viewership. Like, guys, I'm not paranoid about my viewership. No, not at all. Yeah, no, but guys, my viewership, I'm not paranoid about my viewership at all. Nah, my viewership's always been good. But you know what? I don't care about my viewership. And they just constantly talk about it. You know, that is the divining point of insecurity, is when they keep bringing up the insecurities as a joke. That is the big red flag that is something that actually not being ironic about.
Watch. You can tell Charlie hurt his feelings. This is cringier than the roast battle itself, so much that Critical came back to spank him again.
This is going to be me.
Thing is, and I know what happened here. I guarantee you that our boy Noodles probably thought, oh yeah, dude, oh yeah, I got in with Moist Critical. I got a Moist Critical roast. Yeah, bring me all those Moist Cuticle viewers. Bring me all those Moist Cuticle viewers. Yes, bring me the viewership. And yes, he probably did gain some views initially. But the second the drama was over, the people who were there for the beautiful bonfire of the roasting, of the drama, the second that fire had alleviated, they were gone. They're not sticking around because they weren't there for you to begin with. They were there for the drama involving you.
This is going to be me talking about his response video, which I think is a very important lesson in how not to handle controversy.
Yes.
However, the most notable
There is a
announcement
right
for the
and a wrong
previous
way to
two
handle controversy, which is
videos
why I've
was
been
that
saying since the
DefNoodles
start.
had doubled down by scheduling another roast battle.
The only way for me to make this
Oh,
situation
God.
right again is to produce another roast.
Listen, I'm not a comedian, I'm not trained, but if this guy ever does another one, invite me on that and I'll show you how to actually be funny. Like, I'm not the funniest person on the planet, but I know how to crack a joke.
Which somehow became even worse than the first one.
Alright, so DefNoodles hosted another one of his roast battles, and he somehow outdid himself. I could not believe what I was watching. I've never seen anything like this.
Because rather than casting a bunch of local comics, DefNoodles chose to invite his mortal enemy Salvo Pancakes, who filled the audience with
Okay, to be fair, in context, a good idea makes controversy, makes interest, makes intrigue, gives you something to work with. You have subtext, you have a relation, you know what you can work with. There's actually no reason why this shouldn't have worked, but you have to set the expectation. If you're inviting your rival, they're going to diss you.
With his fans who were there to cause some chaos. The audience sat there waiting even longer than the first battle, and when DefNoodles finally walked out from the back, his roasts were physical rather than verbal.
What? This guy's on the spectrum, I swear. This guy has no concept of his world. You know that a diss battle is supposed to be superficial and conversational. You know if you the second you resort. This is like watching a bully in high school who has no concept of how to deal with confrontation. You can Oh yes, I'm gonna cause some juicy drama.
He'd get his revenge by walking through the crowd and onto the stage, signing his own Salvo Pancakes posters, completely disrupting the show. This should have been the perfect chance for DefNoodles to roast his enemy, although in true DefNoodles fashion he hadn't prepared material and would instead get roasted by Salvo.
If we were here, there'd be nobody in the crowd.
After having a drink thrown on him, Salvo was forced out of the show by security, with the second Super Roast Battle's terrible mismanagement giving Penguin Zero a fresh new video.
God damn, dude. This is old news and I'm still cringing out my ass about this.
At first I thought this was staged because it looks like something straight out of the...
Honestly, I thought this was staged. I thought at this point there's no way this is a bit. This is 100% a bit. But judging by everything I've seen, this just can't be. It's just
WWE. I was half expecting Stone Cold Steve Austin to come out
I
with
felt
a
sorry
beer
for
and a
everyone who had to
chair
deal
and
with
hit
this.
DefNoodles in the back with it.
With comments such as, I like how Charlie has had this same format and style for years and is still funnier than DefNoodles would ever be.
You make work what you
DefNoodles'
make
image was
work. It's
dying
funny.
with every
Selling your
passing
personality is
hour.
always
The
going to do
headshot
better
came
than
with
selling
Penguin
freaking
Zero's fourth
travesties.
DefNoodles video, totaling over 10 million views worth of DefNoodles.
I mean, if anything, this is the dichotomy of confrontation. Charlie, whether you like him or not, whether you think his content is good or not, he is successful for a reason. This is a man who knows how to deal with confrontation. This man knows how to deal as good as he gets. And he is, again, a good conversationalist. Being good at talking is a skill set, something that Noodles has no idea how to do.
Criticism, which could have easily been avoided by ignoring Critical's first video. When combined with all of his previous controversy,
but he's too eager to get
DefNoodles'
viewership.
monthly viewership went from 4 million to 400,000. Although despite already losing 90% of his fan base, he somehow still had further to fall. His news-related content became low-effort challenge videos, while an attempt to pivot to interviews also failed to make a difference. More than 1 year after the roast battle incident, every video was still getting at least 50% dislikes and a bunch of comments along the line.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the court of public opinion. When the internet thinks you're an asshole, they will always think you're an asshole. I said it earlier. There is one thing you can never come back from, and that is being judged by the poor court of public opinion. Because once people have an opinion on you, that's what they're going to think of you, and it is nigh on impossible to change people's opinions after a controversy.
Lines of 1.5k views in 15 hours is crazy, but it's mind-blowing when you realize Dennis has over 500k subs. Who's watching these videos? Lining up interviews for a non-existent audience wasn't exactly worth it, so he'd instead fall in love with his own failure by uploading a video titled Unsubscribe Challenge.
I want to challenge everybody who's watching this video and is subscribed to this channel to unsubscribe. I want to see if we can break the record for being the most unsubscribed channel.
You guys want to see what a midlife crisis looks like? This right here is a midlife crisis. This is the biggest grasping at straws imaginable
in the history of this platform.
This would mark the first of many insane DefNoodles ramblings, including I'm fat, I'm a loser, and of course the unsubscribe challenge part 2.
You know, I don't ask for much in life. One of those things would be for you to unsubscribe right now.
Which many of his audience were happy to oblige. Over on Reddit, OKP compiled 20 different videos, which failed to achieve a single view despite being hours old, while a different user questioned if DefNoodles...
So this is actually what I mean, right? I said this earlier about being shadow banned. So again, this is a bit of a dry subject, but when YouTube has a preference in the algorithm, right? YouTube can tell when your content is negative or controversial or like call out kind of content. If it can tell that your content is prejudice or derogatory or call out culture or anything like that, it will unpreference it from the algorithm. The first thing to go this is what is the equivalence of being shadow banned. When the algorithm no longer picks up your content, it's shadow banned. And it starts with not recommending your content. And then the bottom line is it won't even if you keep going down that avenue, it won't even recommend your content to the people who are subscribed to you. This the big takeaway from this is make good content and sell yourself, not drama. And if you want to cover drama, make sure you have a personality and can counterbalance the drama and negativity with good humor and actual input.
DefNoodles had the least watched channel views to subscribers ratio. Ironically, DefNoodles has since tried to mirror Penguin Zero by launching DefNoodles New, and while some of his takes are surprisingly well put, his thumbnail game and more notably his reputation are still in need of some serious work.
Yikes. Look, I will be honest, thumbnails are hard. I am trying my best with thumbnails, but there's only so much time in the day. And if somebody wants to make thumbnails for me, I'll happily take it. So what did we learn from all this? Don't be shit. Don't be a shitter. Make good content. Innovate, strive, but I don't know, dude. I just like seeing, I like using these as PSAs as to how not to be a piece of shit. Anyway, if you guys like this, I'll leave you the original video down below. Make sure you come by the Twitch side sometime and say hello to us. And you guys are pretty pog. Let's spread some positivity or whatever. Anyway, bye.